Hi friends, in this today's current affair lecture, I'll try to discuss private participation in space sector. See, generally we listen to these type of sectors like whether it is space or whether it is defense, like atomic energy. We have some idea like these are the strategic sectors, these sectors are important, so we should not privatize these things. That means we should not allow private people into these things. So privatization is something different, allowing the private people is something different. See, when you consider some sectors as a strategic, definitely that control should be with the government, because government must be in a position to take the important decisions in that sector. That doesn't mean that private people should be always kept away from these sectors. So that notion we have to change first, because if you take the case of developed countries, though the strategic decision part is in the hands of the government, but they allow most of the private people to supply or to intervene or to invent something, because private people do have lot of potential in that aspects. That is the reason why the governments wanted to utilize that potential. So that is what the main basic motto, because I think prior to some 5 years there was no enough participation of private people in the defense manufacturing items. But when you are importing from the foreign country, whether it is US or Israel or some other country, do you think that it is the US government and Israeli government or Russian government will manufacture everything what we are importing? No. In those countries also it is the private people. That means we are importing the items of the private people of a exporting or importing country, but we don't allow our own private people in that production process. This is something very different. Okay, so this should not be allowed. And when private people are having such a capacity, when they are coming forward, and if you provide some sort of hand holding and some technological support, definitely they can perform better in these sectors also. Now when it comes to the ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, this is the agency which is responsible for all space related activities including research, development and some manufacturing and the launching also. So when it comes to this ISRO, ISRO is majorly a research organization, but the point here is this research organization is spending its lot of time on routine activities. So this is something very concerning. See, we are having, actually we developed different type of launching vehicles, and we have also started manufacturing different type of satellites. But most of our time we are spending in that manufacturing of launching vehicles and satellites only. Suppose take the case of the augmented satellite launching vehicle, to polar satellite launching vehicle, to geospatial satellite geostationary satellite launching vehicle, to again in that GSLV Mark 3. So just tell it MK3. Okay, so like we have developed ourselves as far as this new launching vehicles are concerned. This is a development stage to stage, and even when it comes to the satellites also we have developed a lot. Now we are going to have our own navigation system, our own remote sensing, our own communication satellites. So we have improved a lot. But when these research is going on, lot of our time is taken away for these launching of projects. So we have launched some of the satellites in the space. I think just 5 years back, just assume 5 years back we have launched some satellites and it is revolving, and after 5 years its validity is over. Again now you need to build a new launching vehicle and you need to put another satellite, and now you need to send, and this itself is taking 1 year of your time. Then where is the scope for ISRO to go for a high qualitative research? So high qualitative research means like send human to moon like Chandrayaan missions, Mars mission, this other planets. So where is the scope for us to really getting into? Even we did not send human into the space, that is Gaganyaan. We are going to try this year, in the end of this year, that means 2021 December, that is what the target, and we do not know how much time will it take. So when ISRO is spending its lot of time on these aspects, then where is the time to go for these type of researchers? So now what you need to do is, you need to allow the private people into this sector and let the ISRO transfer some of the technology to these people and let them manufacture the satellite launching vehicles and also the satellites, so that the burden on ISRO will come down, so that ISRO can spend lot of time in much more research and development. We are doing cost efficient projects, and if you take the case of Mangalyaan mission, we have done in a very efficient manner. But we should not stop then and there itself, we should move forward. So that is the reason why this involvement of private people is necessary. Secondly, ISRO, you need to link ISRO with private. See, it is not just about allowing the private people into this, but when private people also have some requirements, and based on that requirements ISRO should do research. And the ISRO's knowledge should be decimated, and we have to commercialize that information, and we have to use in an efficient manner for the development of the country and also for the development of the well-being of the human. So this is what we need to. ISRO must respond to the requirements of the private people in this sector, in the country, and also society. Anyway, ISRO is now responding to the societal needs. It must also respond to the private people needs, and ISRO's knowledge or ISRO's information should be commercialized and use it in an efficient manner for the well-being of the country. So this must be done. Then you will get a question, till these many days ISRO has not commercialized its own operations. No, yes, ISRO has commercialized its operations. How it has commercialized? It has not responded to anyone's requirements except social requirements, except government's requirements. So if government say like, okay, this is the project you need to do, then ISRO done. And when it comes to the ISRO's decimation of knowledge, ISRO's information, that is whatever the information available with the ISRO, that is only available to the limited people, not to all. So this is the condition. Now in order to do this, there is a commercial organization called Antrix Corporation. It is there with ISRO. So it is part of ISRO. Antrix Corporation, actually it started in around 1992. And what this Antrix Corporation do? It is a public sector undertaking under Department of Space. It is directly under the Prime Minister, and it is a commercial entity of ISRO. It used to commercialize the operations of ISRO. So commercialization means, suppose if any country want to launch their satellites through our satellite launch vehicle, either it is PSLV or GSLV. Okay, so then this Antrix we used to come to a deal, and we used to send that information. And if anyone want to use this information, the commercial contracts will be written with Antrix Corporation. So the scope of Antrix is very limited, and as our developmental needs are growing and our private sector is also becoming competitive and they are also having lot of potential, then in order to harness the potential that is lies in the private people, Government of India has announced in the year 2019 budget a company called New Space India Limited. So this is again a PSU or public sector undertaking under Department of Space. It was registered under Companies Act of 2013, Companies Act 2013, and it is wholly owned by the government, and around on March 6, 2019 it incorporated. Now what this New Space India Limited will do, we can call it as NSIL. So what this New Space India Limited will do, and the primary responsibility of this NISL is, first one, enabling Indian industries to take up high technology space related activities. So you must enable private people. So that is the main primary objective. So enable the private people or enable the Indian industry. Mostly anyway, now you have to allow the private people here. So enable the Indian industry to take up high technology space related activities. So why they have used this high technology space related activities? Because even today some of the industries are coordinating with this ISRO, but now the present day operation of the industries is they are confining only to some extent of supplying some of the components, but they are not taking high technology space related activities. Now you have to encourage these people to do some sort of work in these high technology areas. That is the first one. Second one are promotion and commercialization. So this is very important, promotion and commercialization of the products and services, both products and services emanating from ISRO or from the Indian space program. See, you need to be very clear, products and services. What are the services that ISRO is conducting? ISRO is conducting a services of putting the satellites into the orbit. Either it is in the polar orbit or it is in geostationary orbit. So generally we call it as sun synchronous orbit or geostationary orbit. So in these two orbits, if you want to place your satellite, those services will be offered by the ISRO. Nowadays ISRO is offering the same services through the Antrix, but it has its own limitation. I will come to that. When it comes to the products, okay, once the satellites are placed in the orbits, they are providing lot of information. That information is useful. That is the products of ISRO. Now you must utilize that products in a commercial manner, because there are lot of importance is there to that. At the same time, we need to use it for the human well-being. At the same time, for the developmental purposes, you can commercialize that thing. So that is the reason why the promotion and commercialization of products and services, okay, of the Indian space program. See, you need to be very clear about this high technology related and also the products and services. So you have to be very clear on this. Now the major areas of this. So what are the major areas of this New Space India Limited? First one is, in the 2019 when they have started, their ambition is production of PSLV and also small SLV. That means Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle and Small Satellite Launching Vehicle through industry. So this is what we must do, through industry. So production must happen. Second one, production and marketing of space based services including launching services. That means again you need to production and marketing. So you need to produce and you need to market the services of the ISRO, that too even launching services of the ISRO. That means the industry must be reached to such a level where they can produce and even market the space based services. So you need to allow them to produce and also you need to market those services, and which includes launching services also. That means launching the satellites. Next, building of satellite as per the user requirement. So based on user requirement, definitely you need to build the satellites. So till now you have built your own satellites based on the government's requirement, but now you have to attract the private people and you have to build your own satellites according to the user's requirement. Again, when it comes to these services, actually it is also about these transponders, remote sensing. See, till now this remote sensing and transponders are only government one. Now private people or any other industry should produce these things and you have to market those things. That means attracting the private people into this area. Next, transfer of technology. This is also important, because simply they cannot develop on their own, because you have been in this field for last 70 years, you have enough expertise and you have enough knowledge with you. So try to share that technology to our own people so that they can come up. I am not saying like you need to share all the core related technology also, but to what extent we can commercialize the operation, to that extent you can share the technology. It's not a problem. Consultancy services that they can do. So these are the major areas that were placed for the New Space India Limited. So this was started in the year 2019. Now the major difference between this NSIL, that means New Space India Limited, and Antrix. So you have to understand, because Antrix is already there. Some people are arguing, when there is one commercial entity like Antrix is available, why you need to create another entity called NSIL? What is the use? Is it not duplicating the functions? But government want to create a new organization, they have created it, and it is also a PSU. But the difference lies with the Antrix and NSIL is, but to some extent the functioning is converging, somewhere it is converging, though they are look like doing the different works, but it looks like they are converging at a one particular point. Suppose if you really enhance the capabilities of the Antrix, definitely it will perform the functions of NSIL, but government don't want to do that with NSIL, because we don't know the internal whatever the loopholes or the problems or weaknesses with the Antrix. But the difference is, Antrix is handle the commercial deals for satellites and launch vehicles with foreign customers. So whatever the existing knowledge is there, that whatever the existing that capacities are there with the Antrix Corporation, and if any foreign country want to use, especially about the launching services, so those commercial operations are taken by the Antrix. But when it comes to the New Space India Limited, the New Space India Limited will deal with the capacity building of local industry for space manufacturing. It is about capacity building. So capacity building is important. And here I can say the Antrix, in a single word, if at all I want to say, Antrix is something like a supply driven approach, but whereas when it comes to the NSIL, it is a demand driven approach. That means, suppose what is the already existing technology, if anyone wants to come and they can use it through Antrix, but now this NSIL will try to find the demand in the market. They will try to find the demand somewhere around in the world, and those demands will brought to the notice of this ISRO, so that those demands will be met. So in that process it will help the development of the private and industrial sector also. So that is what the main difference. It is a demand driven, it is supply driven, and it is there to encourage the capacity building of the private people, but Antrix don't have that mandate. So we need to actually we need to enhance the capabilities of private sector. So they must move from supplying some components to the developmental, that to high technology developmental products. So that is what the main motto behind this NSIL. But again, in the year 2020, on June 28, the government of India has announced another body. That body is Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. So this is a second phase organization in the last 2 years, because already New Space India Limited has already constituted in the year 2019, and now we have constituted that IN Space. So again, what is the difference between this IN Space and as well as the NSIL? This is not a company, but this is something like an autonomous body, and this is the nodal agency. So what this autonomous body and this nodal agency will do, and its main purpose to involve the private people in all space activities. Okay, so to promote and handhold private sector for their participation in space sector. Then what is the difference between the earlier NSIL and INSpace? NSIL is a commercial entity, it's a public sector company, but this INSpace is not a public sector company, it is a nodal autonomous body, and the main purpose of NSIL is to market the technologies developed by the ISRO and bring it more clients that space based services are utilized in an effective manner. So it is not a actually when NSIL was started, the idea in the mind of the government is to bring the private people into the space activities, but this whole commercial body is not suits for that, and that is why you need to create an autonomous body, and that to a high level body which coordinate both private people and government people, that means the Indian space sector. So now this company will confine to the commercial operations where private people want to utilize the services, they can come, and also the private people can develop some of the technologies with this NSIL. So this is some of the things, something is about NSIL. Now again there is a conflict between Antrix, and now government has to come up with a clear mandate of what exactly the Antrix is about, because NSIL is now completely becoming like a commercial entity, because anyway it's a commercial entity, now it is completely confining to commercial activities. So it's market the technologies developed by the ISRO, and also it bring more clients to the ISRO. That is again a demand driven approach. But when it comes to this INSpace, so this Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization scheme, or the whatever the body that we have created, and this body is an autonomous body, and when it comes to the composition of body, you can see it is having its own chairman, plus it is having some technical experts, and it is also having some safety experts, technical experts in the sense technical experts in space, some safety experts, and also experts from academics and industry, and also legal and strategic experts, because you need to deal some aspects, some aspects involve some legal thing and some aspects involve strategic thing, and also you need to have some officials from Prime Minister office and Ministry of External Affairs, because you are going to make some contract with external countries, no? So that is the reason why. So this is the composition of this INSpace, and this is a nodal agency, and this is something like a single window. That means if this body clears any proposal for the private people's participation, then definitely it is final. Even ISRO has to abide with the decisions of this INSpace. So this is not a completely commercial entity, but it is something like an autonomous single window agency to give the approvals where and where we need to have an coordination with the private people. So where, and it will attract the private people to enter, and if it really a commercial benefit or any commercial thing that is happening, that thing will be dealt by NSIL. So you have to be very clear about this NSIL and INSpace. Okay, so earlier we used to discuss about Antrix, but now two more institutions are added to the ISRO, and you have to be very clear on this. Now when it comes to this INSpace, what exactly the functions that are mentioned under this INSpace, because you have to be very clear on this. See, before it comes to the ISRO, or before it comes to the INSpace, what exactly the limitations with the ISRO? The limitations with the ISRO is, I already told, they are spending lot of time on routine activities, and now private people are only limited to the supply of some of the components and subsystems, and these components and subsystems must be moved to high technological products. So that is the reason why Indian industry must be allowed in this sector, and they don't have a technical expertise. Now this body will try to coordinate that aspects. Second one, Global share of India's global share in space sector, it is hardly 3%. Definitely we need to increase it. Though we are doing new innovative projects and though we are doing in an efficient manner, but still we need to harness. So then for that purpose, what you need to do is you need to allow the private people in some of the routine works, and you need to focus more and more on these research projects. And it's not about research project, but when it comes to the services and also products must be commercialized. Again, commercialization will happen through this whatever the company, but on that front this Ion Space should work. It cannot getting into the commercial deals, but it can work on that. So it is something like a policy making or a think tank body like that. Next, and we need to bring our private sector to the level of launching vehicles. That means they must build this satellite launch vehicles. Okay. So again, these are something like the functions of the whatever the earlier discussed, the New Space India Limited. But the point here is New Space India Limited is a commercial entity and Ion Space is not a commercial entity. It is an autonomous body. It don't perform any commercial function, but it's a nodal agency, single window agency. It takes a decision based on the data available, like when who wanted to utilize these services, or in which area we can really diversify this and which area can be allocated to the private people so that they can come. So these type of things will be taken there. So actually, why we have taken this entire discussion about Antrix, or whether it is about the Ion Space, or whether it is about New Space India Limited, is recently ISRO has launched a PSLV C-51. So I think you are aware, Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle continuous version. It is a 51th launch, and total 19 payloads were placed in the orbit, and in that 18 actually we can call it as there is a special satellite, this Amazonia. This is the first Brazilian satellite that we have placed in the orbit, plus 18 other co-passengers are there, and this is the first space program of New Space India Limited. Okay. So now in this Amazonia is of Brazil's one. It is something about to study that Amazon forest, how much amount of deforestation is happening. It's a remote sensing satellite. Okay, forget about that. And when it comes to this 18 co-passengers, I am dividing into 4 and 14. Again in this 4, 3, 1. These 4 satellites are recommended, or it is of from the Ion Space. These 14 are again NSIL. Now you need to know what is this 3 and what is this 1. First of all, I will come to this 14. This 14 again here 1 plus 13. 1 is DRDO satellite and 13 is United States of America satellites. So that means NSIL is now commercializing the ISRO's operations, and based on the demands from the DRDO and also United States of America, they are utilizing the commercial services of the ISRO. Okay. But when it comes to this 4, these are actually satellites developed by the educational institutions. It's a consortium of educational institutions, that 3 institutions, and we call it as UNITY. These 3 are some micro satellites. It's all about radio relay services. But one more satellite is, it is SD-SAT, Satish Dhawan Sat, and this is by the Space Kids India, by students of Chennai. Okay. But when you observe these 4 satellites, these are not commercial satellites. These are the satellites developed by the private people. So that means Ion Space is coordinating with the private sector to develop the satellites. In a same manner, Ion Space will also coordinate with the private people to manufacture the launching vehicles also. So that is the reason why you need to understand the difference between these 2 things. So whenever a launch happened, when they are giving these type of different terminologies, then you must be in a position to differentiate what exactly these 2 things are. So this is by Ion Space. So 4 3+1 because they are not commercial, but it is a persuasion of the Ion Space to the private people so that they can manufacture some sort of satellites, and our private industry must reach to a position where they can manufacture the satellites and where they can avail the services of the ISRO and they can commercialize the data, because this data is very important, because nowadays everything is technology oriented. Data has become really the engine for the growth. Now we are using this data in agriculture, we are using this data in services, we are using this data in construction, we are using this data in basic infrastructural facility like roads, railways, ports, everything. So everything is commercialized. That is the reason why this information, mostly communication information and also this imaginaries what we are getting, and also it will be used for disaster management. So the point here is that data must be used in an efficient manner, and you must harness the potential of the private people, like how Ion Space has started. Actually these are micro satellites, but we need to reach to a level where the transponders and also remote sensing can also be manufactured by the private people, so that ISRO can concentrate completely on a new upcoming technologies, because there are a lot of things to explore, because India need to explore the other planets and also even our own satellite moon. So those things we need to explore it. So for that we need to allow the private people. So there are two benefits. One is we can harness the potential of the private people or the industry. Second one is ISRO can commercialize, and moreover the third one is definitely it will boost the economic growth, because it provides employment, it improves our technology level, and it adds to GDP, and manufacturing levels also increased. And moreover the services will be services, that means whatever the services that some organizations are providing with this data from the satellites will be available to the common man at a cheaper price or at an affordable rate, so that we can use the data in an efficient manner, so that we can grow. Okay, so this is something about the private people involvement in space activities. Okay, so this private sector involvement is compulsory, and don't confuse, this is not something like privatization of the space sector. The strategic things will be with the government, and government is doing that research, but when it comes to the commercial operations, that we are only allowing the private people, because it is for the goodness of the country. So that I think I have already made a video on the privatization. Now in that respect you need to understand these things, and this is very important topic, because you may get a question, because government is taking new and innovative steps, because they wanted to involve the each and every individual's potential in the development or growth of the country. That is why they told like 130 crore people confidence and their capacities, their potential, the expression of their potential and capacities itself is Atmanirbhar Bharat. So whoever is having that potential must be able to perform, and must be able to get an opportunity with these type of technological institutes, and they can show their strength, and ultimately it will be useful for the country. Okay, so this is very important topic, and when it comes to the prelims, and you have to be very careful about this Antrix and New Space India Limited, and also the Indian Space Promotion and Authorization Center like Ion Space. Okay, what is a company, and all these under Department of Space, it is directly under the Prime Minister office. When it comes to the mains, then you can write this analysis. Okay, thank you.